putting in the lens. So he just said, no, I didn't do it. So there's no point. Yeah, but, it might get me out of here on compassionate release. That's what I'm working on.
Okay. Right now, Q321, and away you go.
All right, I want to thank JP. Thanks, Commander. I appreciate you letting me come on and say my piece and getting it out there to everybody. From sea to sea, from planet to planet, and star to shining star, it's a strange universe, and we just work here. This is Dr. Sean David Morton, and I just want to say hi to everybody and give you all the updates on what's going on. I have to talk fast here because I only have about 15 minutes to get you updated on everything. Melissa got out on Wednesday, so she's finally out of the half-hell house and out of prison and all that, but now she's facing, basically, she's homeless, she's penniless, she's got Meniere's disease, she's looking at brain surgery for what's going on with her, and so she really needs your help. If anybody wants to help her, just literally buy shoes and clothes and money for food and rent, they can help Melissa out at paypal.me/help Melissa. That's paypal.me/help Melissa. And if you want to email her to say hi, she's at...
This call is from a federal prison.
ChasingStar999@AOL.com. That's ChasingStar999@AOL.com. Right now I think she's sleeping on a friend of ours' couch. The other thing that she really needs help with, if there's anybody out there, I'm just putting it out to the angels, is she really needs help with people that can fix credit. I know V, the guerrilla economist, used to do some stuff on fixing credit, but she really can't get a place without having credit, and our credit has just been completely destroyed on this. So again, if it's paypal.me/help Melissa, ChasingStar999@AOL.com if you want to help her out. As far as my situation goes, I have until May 25th. I put in a request to our wardeness, Barbara Blanketsy, for compassionate release. As many of you know, last March, I've gone through a series of completely unnecessary eye operations, which resulted in my possibly being permanently blind in my right eye, and I can barely see out of my left eye. I haven't been able to see an optometrist or be fitted for glasses. I'm over 60 years old. Being blinded literally counts as compassionate release, so there's the good possibility that the wardeness could simply let me go. I mean, she has that power. I put in a request. You put in a request to be released in 30 days, and then after that, you go back to the court. If anybody wants to contact the wardeness on my behalf, it's TCN/exec assistant at BOP.gov. That's TCN/exec assistant at BOP.gov. The phone number is 520-663-5000. That's 520-663-5000. And it's wardeness Barbara Blanketsy, so you can actually talk to her. We also have a local talk show host here in Tucson named Garrett Lewis, and you can contact him at GarrettLewis at KNST.com. That's Garrett Lewis, GARRET, I think it is, at KNST.com. Their number is 520-880-KNST. And actually the topic you can talk about is that there are thousands of people in the federal BOP system that are over 60, that have done 66% of their sentence, that are not violent, that are basically in debtor's prison, and it's a cause célèbre. I mean, there's demonstrations now about the fact that the BOP is just not letting anybody go. And as of January 1st, they've been breaking the law in many situations because there are people here who should have started getting out in January, but they. And again, I have a whole theory that all the prison systems are owned by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and that they basically prop up the entire economy of the United States. Some condolences to some people who passed, obviously Doris Day and Tim Conway, but Stanton Friedman, Mr. Roswell, MJ-12, redacted documents. Everybody remembers Stanton. I used to joke that Stanton speaks for free, but his beard gets paid $10,000. And, of course, he used to stand up with that document that was all blanked out, page after page after page of a completely redacted document. So I was at a lot of UFO conferences with Stanton, and then he just got cranky, and he started debunking things that was completely ridiculous, like Bob Lazar and the alien, whose story turned out to be completely true, the alien interview footage that we were out there. I remember being in Turkey with him trying to debunk it, and I'm like, you have no expertise in this, you don't know what you're talking about, and it hasn't been debunked. So anyway, rest in peace, Stan Friedman. And Also from Arizona, this is probably more important than anything, but today, Grumpy Cat died. Grumpy Cat, also known as Tartar Sauce, died. He was only 7 years old. I think he just died from being grumpy. But no, apparently people didn't take very good care of him. He was only 7, and I think he died from some sort of intestinal disease or something. But the passing of Grumpy Cat. I haven't been on for a while just because I've had medical things going on Mondays, but just wanted to point out that I was completely wrong about Harry and Meghan's baby. I thought it was going to be a girl named Diana. It turned out to be a boy named Archibald, I think it is. So he's Prince Archie. Does that mean he's going to grow up and have 2 girlfriends named Betty and Veronica? But there may be some Nostradamus predictions here. I should probably look into them because he literally, and I'm meaning this literally, is the first, quote, black prince, if you will. I think they referred to Richard III as a black prince just because of evil things that he did to his little brothers. But we have the first black prince in the British monarchy, and that might be worthy of a few Nostradamus predictions. So I had some Nostradamus quatrains. I know he talked about the future of a, quote, black prince. All right, into the serious stuff now. A couple of fascinating things. Oil is at about $63 a barrel right now. I'm not so sure why it's not skyrocketing on speculation, because usually when you have speculators, they will usually buy within 10 to probably 30 days before something major happens. But there's the possibility that you could see oil going up to like $200 a barrel simply because of what's going on with Iran. I said on the last program, which I'm not sure how much you heard of, because we had some technical difficulties here, but I talked about how the USS Abraham Lincoln Carrier Group was actually on its way to the Persian Gulf because now the Iranians are threatening the Straits of Hormuz. The United States is no longer honoring not only oil contracts, but is putting the squeeze on countries that do honor oil contracts, which is now costing the Iranians about $50 billion. And look, I went to school with a lot of Iranian students when I went to USC, and a lot of them committed suicide rather than go home. So they are ripe for revolution now, for a major change in government. And so if they attack the Straits of Hormuz or sink one ship in the Straits, then you're looking at oil going to like I said, in the $200 a barrel aspect, and the Iranians could very easily hold Israel hostage, and I think you'll see a ramp up of missile, rocket, terrorist activity, if you will, military activity in Israel, all backed by the Iranians. But I think the Iranians could actually threaten Israel first. Now, if they threaten Israel, that would give the United States the excuse to go in and basically just start blowing up targets in Iran. Already, as I said, we've got the USS Abraham Lincoln Combat Carrier Group. It's a big aircraft carrier. But we also have really badass stuff like SR-75 penetrators, also known as Auroras. They're the ones that use the plutonium pulse drive that we used to see them testing out at Area 51 back in the day. They're flying all over Iran picking targets, and the Iranians are aligned with the Chinese and the Russians. So I find it disconcerting, the fact that right now in the Middle East, in Iran and Israel and this entire area, you have representative armies of every army that's mentioned at the final battle of Armageddon in the book of Revelation. It is a little weird, and you still have Ezekiel 38 and 39 to deal with. If you guys want to get out in your Bibles and take a look at that, but that's a battle of Gog and Magog, which is Germany teaming up with the Russians to then invade the Middle East, and that army is then wiped out by a giant earthquake. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that comes down. But if I was an oil speculator, I would be buying barrels of oil right now, counting they're going to go up, because Trump's not going to back down, and I don't think the Iranians will back down either. And any threat to the Straits of Hormuz, you've got anywhere between 30 and 40% of the oil for almost the entire world going through a 26-mile channel. That's approximately the same width as from Palos Verdes, actually from the Trump Estates, which is Terra Fuego or something, which used to be Marine Land, to Catalina. That's all that oil goes directly through that strait. So just pay attention to that. Once again, I've been talking about the Night of the Jaguar. I can't emphasize this enough, that we're in a Mayan cycle right now, which is the 13-year cycle between December 21st of 2012 and another galactic alignment on December 21st of 2025. And that's a 13-year period in which we're swallowed by this cosmic black panther, if you will, and we're digested through that, and we're coming out towards the light. You're going to see a lot of things begin to break. You're going to see a lot of bad guys start going down. You're going to see a lot of major good things start happening starting in June. I think that you're finally going to start seeing the protests, and you're going to have a lot to do with this as well. I'm not the only person that needs to be freed from this gulag here, and you can literally do something to help me. Like I said, TCN/execassistant@bop.gov. Contact Wardeness Barbara Blankensee. Let her know that I need to go free on compassionate release. That you can't just grab people and blind them. And I can't. I'm acting as my own attorney, so the fact that I can't see it on my right eye and my left eye is getting worse, and they won't even give me glasses to fix it, is also a violation of the law as well. Simply because I can't do the research and everything that I need to do to actually fight my own appeal. Now I do have a very simplistic appeal going in that's due on Monday, on May 25th. So that's the date of my appeal, and then the bad guys have 30 days to respond, and then after that I have whatever amount of time to file a rebuttal. But it's very simple stuff that are slam dunks that are going to, I hope and pray, actually reverse the decision here and get me a new trial. And then we'll see what happens out of that. All right, you're also going to see, I think after June...
This call is from a federal prison.
I think William Barr is going to be Trump's guy. Barr and I call him Bull Durham out of Connecticut. But people who know Donald Trump understand that he's a pretty vindictive guy. And now that the Mueller report is over, I would not be surprised if by the end of the year or possibly the beginning of next year, you don't find an indictment and possibly Hillary Clinton finally going to jail, and things going all the way up the line to Barack Obama as well. So the hammer's about ready to come down on these people that have been responsible for this complete Russian hoax story about collusion and all that is basically just completely nullified the first 2 years of Trump's presidency. So that's going to be interesting. You're also going to see, I think you're going to see a lot of talk in the media about who's going to be Trump's vice presidential candidate in 2020, because there's going to be talk of actually making Don Jr. or maybe even Ivanka his vice president, because Trump will win the presidency in 2020. But it is my belief from everything that I know, Trump is not there after 2022. Now, I don't know how he's removed. I don't know if he resigns. I don't know if he quits or whatever else. But there's an opportunity for him to carry on his legacy and actually make Don Jr. his possible vice presidential candidate, because nobody thinks that Pence can actually carry the country or has the charisma or has the juice to do anything to fight off the Democrats in 2024. It's fascinating now that we're coming up on this Night of the Jaguar thing, and it's all about birth and it's all about the light and whatever else, that you're seeing these abortion issues that are coming up. You're seeing the laws in Alabama and Missouri and whatever else. Roe v. Wade right now as a decision is ripe to be toppled, but I also think that John Roberts is going to betray everybody once again. John Roberts he's a fake. He's a wolf in sheep's clothing. He's not a conservative. He was the one that messed up the oath for Barack Obama. He was the one that wouldn't actually take any Supreme Court action on the birth certificate. He was the one that was responsible for legitimizing Obamacare. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes down, and what's going to happen when Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies or is removed, and Trump replaces her with somebody like Andrew Napolitano or, God forbid, Judge Janine. So I think the abortion fight is going to be fascinating. I think Roe v. Wade is ripe for being toppled, but there's the good possibility that John Roberts will just leave it in the lower courts and betray everybody once again. Once again, help Melissa. Please help Melissa. That's paypal.me/help Melissa, chasingstar999@AOL.com. And please contact Wardeness Barbara Blankensee on my behalf, 520-663-5000. Call Garrett Lewis, 520-880-KNST, and let's make a big fuss and let's see if we can get me out of here. Okay? God bless you, JP, and thank you so much. Talk to all of you next week.
Good luck, Sean. Good night.